things in your life that
You
are
guys
really amazing.
don't mean to interrupt you. You got to say that all
Oh,
over
you're good.
again. I just recorded. Keep
in,
going, buddy.
in
Sorry.
in his response, I'll say it all over. In his response to change, I don't think that he's referring to change in the way of like I'm going to change my life or the good things about my life that I really love. He's talking about the aspect of change in growth. That in order to grow, we have to change. If you're not growing, you're dying. And if you're not changing, you're not growing. And so
Right.
inevitably you have to change. And that doesn't mean you get rid of or you alleviate the things in your life that are fantastic. You don't change those.
Right.
You keep those and you bring them along with you. But inevitably, in order for us to actually grow and not die, there has to be a level of change associated with our growth. And we have to be, we have to be open to that change.
Right. That was great. No, thank you for sharing that. Any other thoughts anybody wants to share just from what they heard before I share a couple of thoughts? I'm sure Ken's got some words on it too. Anything else? Thank you. Appreciate it, Kate. So the very first line, if you heard it, he referred to attitude. He said change starts with attitude, right? So attitude is your approach, how you view things, how you view what happens when a situation happens, right? Why is this happening to me? Or what am I supposed to be learning from this situation right now? I
Or
believe
is it really happening to me versus is it happening for me? Right.
absolutely for me, right? I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe in God. I believe God's showing us the way, but we have to pay attention to it and we got to be in tune with it, right? And we have to understand that these hard things are necessary to achieve greatness. If you want to get to something spectacular and great, there's a few things that we've learned working with other great leaders and people is you have to do it through other people. You have to do it with other people. You have to do it for other people, and then great things come. That's the byproduct. But when your focus is on me, and how much money can I make on this deal, and I got to pay bills and I got to do these things, you're already in the wrong space, right? When you change to the aspect of just understanding that you wake up and feel and you write your gratitudes. You're grateful. I got some crazy news just recently. It's not public out there yet. I mean, there's a lot of crazy things happening. But you just appreciate every single day, right? Every day is a blessing. One day you can find some results that just hit you and you're not ready for it. And you're like, all right, why is this happening to me? Right. But then if you can look at that as instead of feeling sorry for yourself, but understand it's an opportunity that you got another day to breathe, you got another day to make an impact. That's what this is about. So that's what we're about, and that's what we're trying to do here. And we appreciate you all making the effort to be here today. We're excited to share with you some of the things that we experienced in Miami. And we definitely, for the next one, need to do something when we get as many agents there as possible because it was just insane. So we're gonna get and Alma, thank you for hopping on, bud. And we're hoping to have Alma on here on a consistent basis as well. Just making sure you guys already know Alma's a dynamic leader and he's a dynamic partner. And regardless of everything, he knows, we got his back and he's got our back, right? Like that's where it all starts with. And that's the cool thing is we're attracting a lot of like-minded people that are in that same boat. And there's so much opportunity out there, but it starts with how do we wake up and what is our attitude and how do we approach a situation? And looking at those opportunities. Ken, what do you want to share, bud?
Man, I'm pumped. I'm telling you, like from that eXpCon, and I know Alma's going to share some words on that. But honestly, if you guys can make a goal of next year being there,
Yeah.
you can't miss it. Because I had no idea the magnitude of our company and what we offered and what it had. And I've been to every one of these conventions.
Right.
Over 26 years in business. I've Caldwell Banker, I went to KW, Century 21. I've been to all of them. And you know what I realized? They're all the same of each other. They all do the same thing.
Right.
They hire these third-party people to do these classes that are not practitioners. When we went to eXpCon, we were surrounded by the best in the business. I'm talking people that you see on YouTube every single day. They were all there. And I didn't even know this. Come to find out that every top agent in every state in every state works for eXp.
Mhm.
Wow.
Top 1 and 2
1 and 2.
for every single state.
Every single state.
Nuts.
So you're seeing it, and so why is that? It's not by accident. When you're looking at these mega teams that are there teaching, telling you and sharing, that was the difference. Every one of them, everyone that we met, nobody was flexing.
No.
No one was saying, I did this, I sold this, I did that. Everyone was like, hey, how can I help you? Let me show you what I do. Why? Because they all want to grow. When we grow, we all grow.
Yeah.
I mean, Curtis Johnson has no reason to have to come out here and teach this class like he did here. The guy makes $500,000 a month. And we talked to him and we said, why? We were on a boat with like 11 mega millionaires.
Not a boat, Ken. It was a yacht.
Whatever. I didn't want to brag. You're flexing.
Dude, it was a yacht.
It
That
was
thing
a
was
yacht.
huge.
And not one person there was like I said,
It was okay.
Yeah, it was all right.
It was okay, little boat.
It was a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom yacht. It was ridiculous. 3 stories. It was insane.
But when we were there, somebody asked Curtis, he's like, why do you do this? Like, what's your end game? Like, what are you doing this for?
He's already making $4 million a year in rev share.
Just in rev share.
300,000 average a month. Average.
And he said, I like to win. I like the competition. I still want to be number one.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that sounds crazy. And there's a benefit to him. When we grow, he grows. Obviously, he makes money. And us continuing to grow makes him money.
But you don't
But
lead
he does
with
not-
trying to make that money.
Exactly.
He never thought he could ever make that kind of money.
No.
You don't lead with that. You lead with trying to help other people. And we're going to talk about him. I don't mean to steal Ken's thunder, but Jesse Dow is a stud.
Yeah.
And Jesse is you'll see him on future meetings. We have one, next Friday?
Yeah, so next Friday, you cannot miss it. You have the top guy, the leader in YouTube, who will teach you. And if you're part of this group, he's going to show you how to do YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
He's closing 300 homes a year on YouTube. Just people coming in.
Yeah.
And he's going to give you the whole playbook.
Josh, you're welcome to
Yeah,
come.
and you're welcome to
Definitely
come and
come
check
by.
it out. But this is the type of people, the relationships that Brandon and I made when we were there. And every one of them said, how can I help you? Here's my number. Call me.
Tina Call, who
Tina
Alma told
Call.
us about. Alma, share a little bit about Tina Call.
So I met Tina Call about 10 years ago when I did my first 20 for sale by owners live online. What's that?
I said Caul is her last name. If
Yes.
you want to look her up.
Yeah, Tina Call. And she contacted me and she said, hey, I saw you do this live thing online and I'm trying to grow my team. Can we collaborate? And so we chatted back and forth and we kind of traded notes and collaborated a little bit. And I just shared with her like growth strategy and stuff like that I learned, 10 years ago. Now it's, ridiculously more than that. But Tina grew her team exponentially in that decade. And it was unreal to see the growth and the strategy behind her and other agents like her. The eXpCon for me was really, really unique because I had just come from another conference with another brokerage and there was only a one-day gap. It was LPT.
Yeah.
And I was at the LPT conference and to be able to see the contrast between what eXp is doing versus LPT was absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, it's almost like it was like eXp was like 100 times, not even 10 times. It was like 100 times more advanced and better. Everything from their content, the talent that they had there, the speakers, it blew my freaking mind. And when Ken and Brandon were like, hey, we're thinking about going out to this eXpCon, I'm like, dude, yes, definitely go. I'm a huge proponent of of conferences because what it does is it identifies the bare bones of what your company really is. It exposes companies on a level like they're naked at their conferences, right? You see every bone of their company. You can really see a company by its conferences. I've been to Century 21 conferences multiple times. I've been to other massive conferences. I even went to the Florida Realtors Conference. And the one brand, eXp, man, absolutely banged it home on the highest level with the most intense talent and with the best gameplay for progression forward. And so it's just fortunate for you guys that kind of just fell into this brand and into this brokerage and into this team because you're in the right place for growth and strategy. And I couldn't be more excited to be affiliated with you guys and be a part of your growth and your strategy. I could not believe it. I mean, I was there on an explorer pass. I was like, what the hell did I just walk into?
You know,
it was
honestly,
crazy.
it is that we literally, Brandon and I were like, normally we want to ditch the classes. We want to go drinking or go relax or whatever. And we
Yeah.
Why are you putting me on blast? That's you.
Yeah, right.
I just go along and support him.
I didn't get enough of
Danielle, he's not telling the truth right now.
We enough of the classes, and you're sitting there just going, "Oh my God!" You had these people these mega teams that were sharing their stuff, but like boots on the ground in the trenches.
Yeah,
you know, so they're just sure. The other thing we ran into people, the new their eXp is launching a whole new caveat of the different things. They have a whole new AI. I think it's called Maria. It's a whole new system.
Right.
Then they're launching
that class. Did that start today? Yeah. So there's one called Fast to Attract. There's Fast to Cap. Now there's a Fast for AI. So these are all like 6-week courses. As agents with eXp, you had free access to all these things. But now they're developing a whole new, so not just on the training platform, which is insane, and Alma's going to be training on there as well. Now they have success coaching, which is the guy from Tony Robbins, African-American guy, the guy I took a photo with, Cortland, I think Wayland's his name. I actually met him at another personal development thing called PSI, and he was the main speaker there. But I see him, so I talked to him. He's on the main stage at eXpCon, and the owner, Glenn Sanford, is partnered with him. And so we start talking, and I was like, you know what, you made a major impact on my life pre-COVID, right? And he's all, thank you. I was like, I share it with my daughter and our softball teams, like, you know, he's the one that said, if you're having a bad day, he's like, get up and just shake your booty, right? That's him. He's the one that I heard it at the Tony Robbins. So I've used that. And he's like, you can't have a bad day and shake your booty at the same time. And he's trying to get you to figure out that you have to change your physical, like sometimes you got to walk around. Sometimes some people will pound their chest, do something to change their state, and they have their habits of what to do to change that state, to get to a different state. Don't just let it go worse. Don't just feel bad and be upset and, oh man, and that story keeps playing. You have to change the state. And that's what he was teaching at a high level. And that's just the simple terms I remember that I could share with my kids, right? So I chat with them briefly. Then I'd start bringing up Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Guess what year Success Magazine started? Well, first, guess who started Success Magazine? Napoleon Hill. 1895 started Success Magazine. This is the magazine when he was writing in law school, and he was writing to pay for his law school. This was a magazine that he started. That's who we're teamed up now with coaching. How crazy is that? Right? And I was like, bro, we teach Think and Grow Rich. I've taught like 4 different sessions going through that book. He's like, that's the book. And so we connected, shared contact. That's, to be honest, out of 10 great things that happened, that was number 10. That's how crazy the rest of it was. It just kept getting crazier and crazier. But the one thing I want to share personally, because I know Ken and Alma, I'm sure you guys want to share some things, but the big aha for me was every top coach and speaker. So see, the thing with eXp, and I know this sounds like this is not planned. This is literally what we just came back from. So it's what we're sharing. I'm not sharing all this just for your sake. It's for everybody. eXp is a company built to support entrepreneurs who want to build their own business. Every single one of you, right? Not just because you're a part of the office. So there's a new thing called culture centers.
Oh, yeah.
That's a new big thing that's coming out. And we're going to talk about that. Well, we're already ahead of the game. We already have the office. In Orlando, they just took over a big KW office, and now that's becoming an eXp. And they're taking over these leases and creating culture centers because not everybody likes to work cloud-based, right? So we already have a culture center here with what we've already built, but it gives the opportunity to build it in other locations as well. So that's exciting. They're streamlining everything, and eXp takes no cut from that. So that's huge, okay? That's just one piece. The coaching's another piece. The part that resonated with me that I heard from every top producer and the women that we met, the dynamically, like Tina Call, look her up. She's #1 in like, where's she at? South Carolina or
She's in North Carolina.
North
Yep.
Carolina?
And then also Spring Benson, who's in
Spring
Salt
Benson.
Lake City.
Yeah, tell them about Spring.
So Spring Benson is so I started with Spring when I moved over to Real, and Spring grew her platform. She has a 90-person office. They're probably over 120 now, but she had a 90-person office at that time, and I trained and mentored and coached them, and then I followed them into the Real platform. And when Spring realized the capacity and the system of growth within EXP, she jumped ship and she took her entire 7-figure passive rev share from Real Broker and took it over to EXP because EXP has that 7th level. And she knew that that was the best growth level for her business and where it was going and the strategies. And I've been also to a Real Broker conference as well. Just EXP is so much far advanced just in their technology, in their growth of, their ability to grow the agent, in their classes, and the talent that exists there that Spring went over. And I was like, holy hell, like she made a lot of money. I made a lot of money over at Real Broker. And I'm like, what would drive her to leave this organization? And now I see it.
Yeah,
what's that?
Right at Real? Was it 4?
I think it's 4. I think it's 4. Yeah.
Most are 4. Where Curtis makes most of his money is line 6 and 7. That's when it just takes off exponentially, right?
And I made most of my money in stocks. That was my drive. I wasn't doing a huge rev share thing, and I wasn't growing a downline or recruiting.
Right.
For me, it was the stocks, and I made a shit ton of money in stocks. And so I still have stocks there actually, which is funny.
Keep coaching their agents still, right?
Yeah, I'm still coaching. I trained one of their teams yesterday. Yeah.
No, so Spring though. So I think she built at Real like a 2,500 agent. In total they have like 15,000 agents. So she was the biggest team leader there, and she saw where the bottleneck was happening. So she actually started. I know when she'd mentioned she's building it from the ground up and documenting every part of her building it now. But if you see something called Spring Break, she's really big on women leaders and drawing them out there. You got to check it out. Spring Break, where's Spring Break held at? Where does she do
usually in San Diego. Last year she did it. I've been to Spring Break, I think, twice. We did it in San Diego the last times, and then she just did it in Salt Lake City. Yeah. And eXpCon this next year is actually going to be in Salt Lake City, which is my old hometown. So I'm excited. I think we should make it a plan for all of Camarillo office to plan on going to eXpCon for Salt Lake City. Yeah. I'm going to guide the whole team around the coolest shit to do while we're there to get the most explosive experience, not just from the conference, but also from the beautiful state that Salt Lake is in the summertime. But it's only beautiful in the summertime.
No, that's great. So we have a lot of exciting things to bring up. So one of the things we're going to start doing is a mastermind here every Friday. So instead of Ken's training on Thursdays, we're going to move it to a mastermind on Friday. Ken and I will alternate on Tuesday trainings, and Alma. Don't mean to volunteer you, but we will rotate in terms of our training and our coaching on Tuesdays to continue the mindset, the skill set, the discipline to make sure we're all successful in the business. So that will be consolidated to Tuesday because the Friday mastermind is going to be huge. Right. Alma's going to lead the masterminds. We got Jesse Dow, who we talked about. Jesse Dow, Alma's mindset. He's motivational. He's inspirational. Great dynamic leader. Jesse, you're going to see he's more analytical, kind of more like how Eli was, but another level, right? Like this is where they learned YouTube from. So now we have that, and it's in direct access, and he's willing to give that to everybody. So anybody who's a part of us gets access to that if you want to do it. But he's already said, look, YouTube's not for everybody. Some people can figure out how to make money, and it takes 6 to 7 months before you start seeing those leads coming in. Yeah. Now, he'll also tell you how he got his wife to do YouTube, and she made $500,000 last year in that tough market. And another agent does she just records 2 videos. She records 2 videos a week. That's all her job is. is to record 2 videos a week and put it out there. He already knows the playbook. So he just has her. Chat GPT and AI will tell you what scripts to use, what video to create it on. They have other tools that they use as well. He has the whole playbook, but the latest playbook, not the old playbook. Some people have the old playbook and that's what they're teaching. It's not working. He has the latest playbook that's actually working. That's very important, right? So knowing those nuances, he's up there with Mike Sherrard, the other, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. So there was an Asian guy who came from California, was not in real estate yet, moved to Texas, right? This guy, his name's like Zoomin or Sumin Kim or something like that. But I found his videos first. When I was looking up YouTube channels, I found him first. And I connected with him. And he had a great personality, just nice guy. But he told his story of moving to a brand new area. He didn't know anybody. He's like, I wasn't like anybody else. He's like, these are all the things I had against me. Never sold a home. Moved to a brand new area. Uprooted his family, go to a brand new area. I have no sphere of influence. I have no community. I have no nothing. He's like, I don't have any past sales. I don't have any business. So he went all in on video, followed the playbook from Mike Sherrard, and Jesse Dow and Mike Sherrard get coached by the same person. Mike Sherrard is the #1 attractor within eXp. He's top producer, top guy's phenomenal, right? Another guy to watch his videos. And we're going to start sharing links so you guys can tap into it.
I want to mention that too. So one thing that we've shifted, we literally, Brandon's got a list of top people in the industry. We're set to meet with all those people in the next upcoming
We're going
months.
to do Zoom calls. And
So what we're going to be doing now, our Thursday is going to shift to Friday. We're going to have a Friday mastermind meeting, which is going to be open to nationally.
Yeah.
But the beauty is all these people, a lot of them have said they'll share and come live on Zoom.
They're going to run it for us.
They're going to run it for us.
Their playbook
once a month,
and
we're going to have these top leaders that you see all over YouTube, strictly, as part of our group here. Yeah. So it's going to be badass.
Yeah. So you're gonna want to invite people that you know to that event and just share. And it's not like, this isn't going to be something that's like a high pressure sales. Oh, come here. This is strictly helping everybody out, right? If people like what we're doing, they'll want to be a part of us. We don't need to, we're going to provide the content and the material to help people succeed, period. That's it. And if somebody wants to go further with it, then we'll talk.
Every one of the leaders that we met, all of them said that none of them ever asked someone to join. No. They just showed what they did, and everybody wanted to be
right.
Like, why wouldn't you? If you're hurting, and these guys are killing it, like that. Why we don't care? Like Alma's at LPT. He's worked with real agents. It's we want to stay sort of agnostic, when it comes to teaching people.
Right.
And then what'll happen is they'll naturally migrate.
Well, and other things, the thing that I've learned through being a manager and a leader and having to recruit is my network with agents is, I know, one of the strongest here in Ventura County. How do you think that helps me when I write offers?
Yeah.
It is so critical. Your reputation is so important. You don't just get somebody just because they screwed up and they missed something on a contract and you win, right? You help them out. There's been times that my seller could have took $10,000 for an earnest money deposit because the other agent screwed up. I corrected it before my client saw that, right? Now, some people say, oh, that's not in your client's best interest. It's not that it is, because you got to protect your clients from themselves sometimes. You don't just take advantage of people just because somebody messed up, because one day you're going to mess up. Amen. One day you're going to miss checking a box, right? So you do things the right way. And when you build that type of reputation, there's nothing more powerful. Your agent network will lead to you doing a lot more deals and a lot more business, and they're going to help you out. There's another one actually that we were just working with the top agent, right, on our deal. It wasn't able to work out with that agent. He said, I owe you one. You don't think when we write on his listings, we're going to get a solid when we're in a multiple offer situation? 100% we are. He's going to give us a layup. I can bet money on it, right? Those are things that you can't replace. And how much more attractive does that make you as a buyer's agent when you're speaking to people? And it elevates the level of your confidence. You don't talk about how great you are, but you do talk about this is what I do full time. I meet with, I mean, you came out of your box to come here, and thank you, man. That takes a lot to come out and to be here, but you're going to meet all these agents that are going to have your back, dude, period. And you're going to write offers on them and they're going to write offers on your stuff. And, we know you're a good dude. So keep doing that. Keep getting out of your comfort zone, meet people, network, and do those things. There's the one I said, the one thing I wanted to share from the conference, there's a lot, but the one is every one of these dynamic leaders and coaches, guess what they say, or what was the commonality that I saw that they spent their money on? What do you think it was? What do you think they invested most of their money? Don't say it, Alma. What do you think they spent most of their money on? What do you think?
Themselves
In what way?
in growth.
And
Like
how?
personal coaching, growth and development, specifically learning to get better, seeking out whether it's a life coach or a health coach or a fitness coach or whatever. All of the top athletes have coaches. Everybody has a coach. Every therapist has a therapist.
That's so good. I love it. I love that. Every therapist has a therapist. That's my next new slogan that we're putting out on the card. That's 100%. That was the commonality. They all dropped not just tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in personal coaching. But do you know how much money these guys are pulling in? Their coaching business alone is pulling over $1 million a year. Millions. It is insane. And that's what the eXp platform allows you to do. You're allowed to coach. They promote you as an entrepreneur and figure out, like, okay, let's just make sure you're not going to get sued or bring in any liability here, but do what you need to do, right? And they're going to support that in however you want to grow. Most of us just want to sell homes, have access to great people, you know what I mean? And have support where you need it. 90% of the agents at eXp, that's what they do, right? It's like 12 to 20% that actually want to build something greater than just selling real estate. And I'm not minimizing just selling real estate, but at a certain point in time, you're going to start thinking like, okay, I want multiple sources of revenue coming in, right? I want to have it where I did bring an agent who came in and she closed one transaction. I got a $3,000 bonus on one closing, very first closing, $3,000 bonus. Just bam. Do you think that helps in terms of paying bills and mortgages and other things? If I don't have other transactions that are closing, it all feeds, right? He talked about stock. You get stock as well when you bring agents in. I take 5% of every closing and put that towards stock. And I've already generated, a good amount of stock. Say it's already 20 plus, right? And it's been over a year with being with them. And their stock isn't that much right now. So what do you think is going to happen when that increases to the values of where it's been? It's been over $50 a share. It's at like 14 a share right now.
Yeah, I think to that point, I think the agents in this company need to start realizing that there's multiple streams of income available at their discretion. And those portions of, the stock and the profit share and things like that you have not been taking advantage of right now. It's time to position yourself out of each closing to take advantage of those things and buy into those things. Spend a little bit of your money on each transaction, buying some stock. Your downline, you need to start building out and bringing people into your organization, because effortlessly you're going to do that anyways. Effortlessly, people are going to start to see the way that you produce in your transactions. You're going to be the best the best agent attraction engine for yourself. Right. And when I say that every meeting like this, you guys, the agents that you already know, that you like, that you love, that you should just be inviting to all of the meetings, because those agents, once they start engaging in this environment, you'll get to work with them every day as a gift of bringing them into the organization. That's how we grew Century 21 Everest so fast. We just invited people to the morning ascent and to the weekly meetings. And people started just gobbling up this information, and it was invaluable to them. So they just kept coming. And so once that happens, you start automatically putting people into your organization and starting to set yourself up as an agent for profit share and stocks and all of that stuff and
Those are-
automatically.
No, great points. I want real quick. I know it's a little bit of a change of gear, but typically we start, as you talk about morning ascent, with gratitudes. Does anybody want to share any gratitudes or win over the last week? Sean, start thinking of something because I want you to share something. April, Anissa, Leslie, anything? Leslie, you got it. At least one gratitude, one win that I heard through the grapevine.
Yeah, I got my listing into escrow. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, my listing I've had for 72 days.
Mhm.
I went into escrow on Friday.
Awesome. Congratulations. Awesome. That was not an easy one, and there's nobody more relentless to put on that than you, right? So great job with that. Anybody else like to share gratitude, Wayne? Whatever you're grateful for. Awesome. Awesome. That's always, it's very important to get reconnected and just enjoy every day that we can. That's why we're doing all this, is for them. So that's awesome. April, anything you want to share?
Just, always just so grateful. I wasn't here last week because, you guys were out and, I was just kind of catching up on everything and, just feels good. I'm grateful that this, the feeling that we all generate when we're all together and it's energy and just grateful for everyone in here.
Awesome.
And Alma.
Yeah.
Thank you.
April, before I forget, thank you for supporting me while I was out with that clients, and just you always do it with the servant's heart and not expecting anything. And she turns me down when I try to, but thank you. I appreciate you always supporting me. So it's a good feeling knowing that I can still add to the personal development side. But that's the big thing. I want everybody to make a personal goal for themselves is, what are you going to do personal development wise? Coming in here is great, right? This will keep recharging you, keep replugging you in, will keep reminding you of things, but it's your level of awareness and you have to continue to grow. And you got to see what's keeping you from becoming what you're capable of. And like you said, everybody has a coach. Every great player has a coach. Every great anything has a coach. So why are we avoiding it? Is it the cost of it? Well, if it's the investment, if you spend money, like Ken's taught me how to save my pennies a little bit better than I've used to done in the past.
He said I'm the CF no.
CF no over here has helped me out, and I'm grateful for it. But when I do spend money, it is going to be things like that trip to Miami, or when we've done it in the past with Century 21, and they were great events. It's not to talk down on any other company.
Yeah.
It's not saying that.
Different.
It's saying it is different. And these guys have figured something out. This group has figured things out, and you can tell by the people that are there and what they're sharing. And there's nothing even when we share with you, yes, invest in yourself. You got to be there to experience it. And then you see what they're doing. And it's like, okay, I keep hearing the same message.
Let me
Yes.
add something to
Do
that.
that.
It's really interesting because I'm not a young guy, 57 years old,
Okay.
right? So but you're raised a certain way. We were raised in a different generation. Save your money, pay your bills off, don't have debt, all this kind of stuff. And now look at the economy and what it's doing. How the hell is a kid gonna survive with that mentality?
Okay.
And then what's happening? Instead of like people saying, oh, this youth is like really lazy. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing adaptation to new things.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurial spirit
Mhm.
coming alive with these young kids, doing TikTok, doing whatever they're doing. And this is what's happening with this brokerage, is that you're seeing a pool of people that are entrepreneurs that are going, I'm not going to go do that normal stuff anymore. I need a pool of people that will allow me to fly into this new world of business. And that's what we saw. Even to the point, I'll share one story on that yacht. One of the guys there owns hundreds of homes. There was another guy there who had 30 homes, 34 years old, ex-baseball player. And he's like asking this guy, I'm thinking about paying off these homes. The guy who owned 30 of them. He goes, I'm thinking about, and the guy said exactly what I said. I was brought up, he's my age, the same type of thing, same amount of years in business. He said, I was brought up the same way, but my coach My mentor told me, what the hell are you doing? When he had 30 homes himself. He goes, do you know that you could buy $50 million worth of real estate if you leverage what you have? So he borrowed instead of paying off. And he was able to buy multi-units, commercial unit, like his book, the homes, his inventory quadrupled. And here's the beauty. His biggest like thing that he said, I haven't paid taxes in 5 years. Why? Because when you buy these places, you can depreciate all of it the first year. So every time he's just borrowing, buying. And when you borrow, it's tax-free. So you're purchasing, depreciating. Purchasing, depreciating. The guy says, well, what's the end game? He goes, there's no end game. Keep going. That's what he said. He goes, there's no end game.
Well, and that's what I asked one of the CPAs about that. And they said, no, when you pass, those taxes aren't going to be paid by your, people
They
who
don't
are
have to pay
inheriting
it
that. I was
when you
like,
pass.
wow. So there's
The
so many
point
things
is,
that are shared.
we were surrounded with that caliber
Right.
of, they don't teach you how to finance when you're in school.
No.
They don't teach you how, like what to do when you have a baby, when you go home. Here you go, take it home. They don't teach you the essentials to survive. And a lot of the brokerages don't teach you the essentials to survive in this evolving market.
Well, it's and adding to what you're sharing, Ken, I know another thing that stood out to me as we were talking to these top attractors and people is when you look at the different models, the traditional model, right? It's built like a trap. And it's not to say it in a mean way, but it's a trap to make you feel comfortable and dependent. That's how it's built. Because the longer they keep you there, so for my mindset, that 5% that I'm putting towards stock in every single transaction, I was giving that to a franchise fee. So instead of giving that franchise fee of 5, 6, 7, whatever your franchise fee is, that's coming now to my stock, right? So that was part of me taking the risk to do what we're doing here. But I'm gonna, okay, instead of paying that out every single time, now I'm putting that into eXp
Share
stock.
Kevin's story.
Kevin,
The guy from Berkshire that's
Go ahead.
coming. Well, I'm not gonna tell the whole story.
Yeah.
But
all right, I'll
you-
sum it up
you
for him.
sum it
quick.
up. I don't want.
I'll sum it up for him quick.
It's a great story. But
So he's another big dynamic guy, but basically he's like, all right, show me the numbers if I sell a $35 million house. I was like, cool. Showed it to him. Guess how much money he saves by not being with that particular brokerage and paying an 80-20 split with a 6% franchise fee on a $35 million deal. Just take a guess.
150,000.
Close. It's about $140,000 that he'll keep in his pocket by not paying that in a franchise fee in the split. Because he counts.
You imagine if he puts that into stock? Like, it's just insane.
16K. Then he gets mad and he's like, do you know how much money I made my broker over the last 20 years?
This is the guy, you know who Pam and Siggy is from Westlake? He was
Number 2 to them.
No, number 1 is a single.
Right, that's true.
He was single. They were 2 people, and he complained, and they made him number 1. That's how he sold all of Sherwood. So these numbers that he's talking about,
This isn't a far off example.
Like
then he's like, all right, show me $3.5 million, and it saves him like $8,000 or something like that. But he's like, still, he's like, I'm worried about you guys. This is what he told us. He's like, I'm worried about you guys. He said, you guys aren't making any money. And I said, I know. Tell me about it. We know that. We're not doing it for that. Not in the long run. Again, it will work out. Especially when we bring leaders who attract other leaders. Eventually, we hope to do like what Jesse's doing. Jesse's got about 450 agents. So he makes about $300,000 a year in rev share. That wouldn't be too shabby, right? Not too shabby.
YouTube channel course, he makes $1 million.
He's been with eXp for 5 years. Exactly. His rev share is minimal. But again, if he invests in us, takes care of us, helps us go to another level, he's going to win, right? It's what Curtis has been doing. So it's all leadership development. And it's not like, I don't want you guys to overhear this. There's so much, the model's built to support
If you can't tell, we were highly enthused by some of the connections that we made.
Well, it makes sense why people are truly sharing all their info is what I'm saying. And then the co-sponsorship opens it up.
Yeah.
So now it's not just on who's on your upline and downline because they want to partner with you. So now you can recruit across the country because they can be in an office here, but be under somebody in Florida, right? He can have somebody under him and co-sponsor with us. And they can be in our office and we both benefit. So it opens everything up. So that's it on the conference because we're here to teach about the open houses and buyers.
I don't think we
And
need
the
to.
buyer
That was good
process.
enough. That was
I
good
hope
enough.
so. Any questions, I guess, before we jump into this next segment here? Because we do want to make sure we touch on it. Any other thoughts you wanted to leave, Alma, with the group?
No, I'm just, I'm excited to come out there. I'll probably be out there in the next week and a half or 2 weeks anyways, and do another live. And so we just want to have, anybody who's part of the team here, just invite your teammates. Hey, Alma's coming out. We're going to do another live event, and we're going to release some dynamic growth strategies and some amazing announcements. So we need to bring everybody together on that.
So are you guys on board with that? You guys want Alma to come back out here?
Yeah, baby.
Hell yeah, we love Alma.
Thank
Who was
you.
that? Who did we hear over there?
That was Shayla.
Hey, and then we got Amomi too. Amomi on here. Can Alma come out?
Let's go.
Awesome.
As long as you whisper the sweet nothings with that accent, I'll come out.
All day long, baby, all day long.
Hey, now I'm jealous.
You can pretend.
All right.
With an accent.
All right. So let's get back on track over here. So we were one of the things we wanted to talk about is just putting business together on the buying side. Ken, do you want to jump or do you want me to start with?
No, just go ahead. Let me just look up.
So Ken teaches a class on open houses. I've heard this class and many of you have heard the class, and we're getting into some other details for those of you that who all has been a part of Ken's open house class. Okay, so everybody in here so far pretty much, right? You've all heard it. What have you learned from it, I guess? What are your takeaways from his class? Go ahead, Sean.
Don't do it, you're not gonna do it, right?
Yep.
Basically, it's not just sitting the open house, there's preparation, there's stuff you have to do before the open house to get ready. It could basically be, a full-time gig just on open houses if you do it properly.
Okay, and so don't do it if you don't, unless you're gonna do it right? Be prepared. How do you prepare for it?
You find switchers,
Uh-huh.
door knock the neighborhood, invite the neighbors.
Okay.
You can switchers, door knock.
I think you came up with that word, Ken, switchers.
I know.
Yeah.
You did.
But look,
Let's
get it. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go through the ecosystem, that it is called normally ecosystem. Josh, if you've never taken the class, I'm not gonna go through because of a matter of time. But basically, this one system can make you run your whole business. I call it an ecosystem. I'll give you just a footnote on it. Because when you circle prospect, you can build a farm. When you do the SOI, you can build an SOI by the people you meet. So this one system can allow you to run an entire business just off of one thing.
Let me set you up real quick with this because I have to. It's funny. You'll like this story. So there's one day that, and you'll appreciate this, Alma. Our previous owners was just chatting and saying like, oh yeah, you don't need to do open houses. Open houses are a waste of time. Work Monday through Friday, just prospect, set appointments, work Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week, Saturdays till about 12 o'clock, take every Sunday off, and open houses are a waste of time. And Ken's like, really? And he's just like, how about this? How about I open a brokerage and all we do is open houses Saturday and Sunday, and we'll kick your brokerage's ass, right? And he's telling me this. I'm rolling. I'm like, dude. And I had to talk with George. Not saying he said that, but I'm just like, dude, you don't understand California, bro. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, think about it. Think of what the demographics are. Think of how expensive it is to live here, right? So what do you think has to happen? I said, do you think people are available Monday through Friday, 8 to 5? No, it takes two incomes to support and to live and to afford in California. So when are they available? Weekends. Guess what they go to? Open houses. You cut out open houses, you're cutting out everything, right? So when Ken was getting fired up, he put this class together and he's like, you know what? I got to break it down and figure out like everything that I do. And there have been people, top producers that we've helped whatever, coach, whatever you want to call it, that they said once they heard Ken's class on open houses, it clicked. And they were struggling for like 3 months, 6 months, whatever it was, trying to do everything they can. You guys know the agents. And I remember her saying, I said, so when was it? Because I was coaching her quite a bit and she was on my team and doing it. And so I'm waiting for her to say, oh yeah, you know, all this stuff you taught me. And she's like, no, when Ken taught that open house class, it all clicked for me. I was like, thank you. I appreciate that. You know? No, but it was the truth. That was the turning point. So had to share that.
No, thank you. You know what's funny? I wanted to change it up again because I've given this class a lot. You know, it's like, okay, I don't want to hear this again. You know, they've all been through that. I told Brandon that, and Brandon asked me to do it because I've done it, but now I want to dissect it more like literally, let's go to work. That's what I was thinking. The funny part was I went on ChatGPT and I said, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to research what the top people, what their tricks and techniques are. Maybe I can scrape some of that or it'll give me some ideas. And I went, crap, baloney, not real. Like legit. What you'll run into is that most people are just posers. They literally, you'll know in 2 minutes, any top producer will tell you that guy's not real. That was the beauty when we did go to the eXpCon. You knew in 2 seconds that these people had merit. Just the way they were speaking and what they were sharing. And it was frustrating to me, like Brandon was saying, some of the agents that I've taught, they were killing it. Later on, searching for that shiny object, would go to coaching by someone who never sold anything, and their business would just crash. And then I would meet with them and have manager meetings and go, okay, let's sit down. Let's go over what you did that made you successful. And go, okay. And we'd sit down. And then I go, okay, what's going on? What are you doing this year? Nothing. I'm dying. I can't do anything. I don't know what's happened. I go, okay, well, what'd you do last year? Well, I door dropped and I did open houses. Okay, what about the last year before? I door dropped, I did open houses. I go, well, how many sales did you get from that? 20 on the first year, 15 on the second. Okay, how many open houses are you doing this year? And how much door dropping are you doing? None. This is a true story. And I go, none? Okay, why not? Because I feel that that's a cop-out. That's literally, this is the verbatim, someone told me this. I'm all cop-out. I want to focus on more listing appointments. And I said to this person, how many listing appointments did you have when you were door dropping? He goes, man, I don't know, maybe out of 20, I think I had 10. But I did it, I want to do it a different way. And I go, buddy, you need a door drop and do open houses. And this, I swear to you, this person started to cry because he felt stupid. And I'm not knocking him. What happens is it is so easy to get off track in this business. You will lose your way and make this business way more complicated than it is. Why? Because you're listening to clickbait. You're listening to people that have never sold anything. The bottom line, people want to do business with other people face to face. They want to meet you, say hi to you, and trust you and learn to like you. You have to have the solutions to their problems. You have to be the expert in your field, and you have to develop a relationship with these people. And they will learn to trust you and let you guide them. So I know this is a pretext to what I'm about to start, but I did dig in a little bit deeper today. And like I said, we're not going to do the ecosystem. This got weirded out when I uploaded it. But like Sean was saying, it's all about your mindset when you go to this thing. And I always will share and repeat this because as many times as you'll hear it, I value the most precious time to me is my son's soccer games, my time with my kids, the beach with my kids when it's summer. Okay. If I'm going to go half-ass this open house and just not do a good job, why would I give up the most precious moment of my time? I'd rather just go with my kids. And I'm telling you guys, if you're not going to do it right, go with your kids. Right. Because you're going to need that balance in your life. You have to have balance. But you also have to provide. And this is where we're lost right now. No other job can you get away with not working. If you were all the CFOs of your own company, would you give yourself a raise right now? Would you fire yourself? Would you hire, are you doing the adequate amount of work that any other job would expect you to do? No. Most of us aren't. So mindset is important. You also have to go there with you have to be enthusiastic, not crazy off the wall, like contained enthusiasm. You have to go there and be a beacon of light when people walk in, that knowing that you're the person that's going to be able to handle the most important transaction in their life. All right. Here's your opportunities. I don't know if you can you see the TV?
Yes.
Here. I'll turn it a little.
No, not yet. There you go.
I'll repeat it probably.
No, you're good.
So you have 104 opportunities per year. That's weekends. 52 more if you do Fridays. Your goal should be to do at least 40 a year. Okay? Well, here's the reality, guys. 15 of those are going to be dead. You're going to have nothing going on for whatever reason. It's in a gated community. It's not popular. It's already lost its luster. Whatever it is. Who knows what? I've done a home Saturday and have nothing, done the same home on Sunday and had 10. It's a crapshoot. It's a numbers game. You have to be okay with that. You have to be consistent in the math here. You can't shortcut it. You have to do at least 40 to make this work. 25 of those 40 are going to give you opportunities. 25 of those open houses are going to give you an opportunity. Okay. If you're a new agent, you'll probably set, well, let me just skip to this. A new agent right here. If you do 25, you're going to get about 8 or 9 closed sales. If you're a new agent, you're out of those 20, you should be able to set, I'm talking somewhat competent, you should be able to set an appointment at every open house. Out of those 25. An experienced agent is going to be able to set about 3 appointments. You should be getting at least 50 and closing 16 to 17 sales a year. Easily. Here's an example. A couple years ago, I was doing a house in Big Sky. I think Juana was with me. I don't know if you were with me. We were doing this house. I listed it. It was a $1.3 million house, 5% commission. If I double-sided it, it was $65,000, $32,000 per side. You have a 30% chance of double-siding the listing if you work it properly and market it properly. The average time on market at that time was 2 months. Now it's 3. If you have a high-end home, average to 3, sometimes. But you were like 18 when you took that listing, right?
Still listed.
Don't overprice your listing, guys. Don't overprice your listings. And this is where I want to tell you, I want to stop right and go off course. This is really important. Don't be the agent that wants to shift what you want to work because you're not able to compete in that market. Like everyone's like, I just want to work with buyers. No, now I only want to work with sellers. because it's easier. That's just showing your inadequacies in your inability to control the situation. You should be dying to get any listing you can when it's priced correctly. You need to learn how to master the techniques to control your client and educate your client. But a lot of people will say, no, I don't want any listings. It's a headache. I don't want to deal with it. I just want to get buyers. Well, do you understand if you have the inventory, you control the market? Do you understand that if you have the inventory, you're going to get all the buyers? Buyers are great. You need to focus on it. You definitely need to focus on it. If you don't have the skill set, you don't understand it, for sure follow the money. But don't be misguided and understand. You have to understand listings is where it's at, always will be.
You'll have more freedom with listings, right, Ken?
A lot more freedom with listings. And again, if we look back just 2 years ago, nobody wanted a buyer.
Can I chime in on that topic real quick? When I focused on having listings, I had 30, I think it was 32 or 35 active listings. I had 18 under contract, and it was just me and an assistant. And that's the type of freedom you have. Like I did not show one home for almost 3 years in a row because I had such a listing inventory. I was listing centric. And yes, we had buyers, but I had a buyer's agent that would show the homes, or I would get a showing agent and I would pay them per door. It was like 25 or 30 bucks a door to open the doors and show my clients. They were basically just a taxi cab driver. And then if we went under contract, then I would give them a commission on that or a portion of it as a buyer's agent if they found the right property. But it gave me so much freedom and so much more income by simply developing my listing base. And it was easy for me to carry a 30 plus actives and 18 under contracts because everything else was just systematic. And so it all just happened for me. And I remember I'd go to 2, 3, 4 closings in a day. And, I would have 2 or 3 or 4 closings in a week. And I would just show up for closings. I'd show up to list the property. Then I would show up to close the property. And then I would do updates during the week for my clients via phone, and do price adjustments. But listings is where it's at. When Ken says that, listings is where the freedom is at, where the growth is at. If you own the inventory, you also own the buyers, because we would do an additional, if that year we did 63 63 transactions, 30 to 40 of those were buyer transactions because we carried this listing inventory.
Yep. So it's I want to add to that because I'm going to give the opposite view, right? Because this is what we do. We contradict each other all the time. There's 2 sides to every story. And what you have to be able to do is you have to be able to pivot based on what's going on in the market. What's happening right now? And I just heard, actually, I think it was Tina Call talking about it. Speaking about, you need to make sure that right now, I know you got to go pretty soon. You need to make sure that right now that sellers understand, even if it's priced well, even if it looks well, even if everything's positioned correctly, it may not sell. That's the reality of the market right now. So you could be doing all the right things. You could be having all the strong conversations with your client. You also have to set the expectation that even if we do everything right, it may not sell right now, unless you're willing to take a major hit on this and it's important to you to sell this property. So the only other option that's left out, and this is huge, it's called the takeaway close. And it's very important to lead this way, not be attached to the outcome. Don't think, well, I've already spent all this time, so I'm going to get paid on it. No, by the time it's all done, you're going to lose money. You've already lost money. So you got to know when to cut your losses and be willing to walk away from something, not let your own pride take over. Like, no, I can sell everything, because what happened is it contains you and traps you into a situation that it's not worth it. But when they realize you're willing to walk, do you know how many clients I've fired? You've seen it, April. And how many of them go? Very few. Very few will actually leave. They all come back to me and say, all right, no, I want to work with you. I want to work. What do I need to do? Well, these are my terms if we're going to work together. It is a very powerful space to be in. In this market, that's how you have to lead. Now, my belief right now, and I've done it, and I shared a little bit with you on our call. My belief right now is you all need to get stupid excited over buyers right now. It is so easy. You want money now. You want to get paid now. You work your ass off for buyers because you will put deal after deal after deal together in this market. If you can't take advantage of this market right now, just quit. Quit real estate. You can focus on all the listings you want. I'm going after buyers. Keep going after listings, guys. Watch what my production is this year. And I'm not saying it to brag. I'm telling you, I'll get listings because I'm going after buyers. Buyers is where it's at. And I can't say it with any more confidence because you will write, if they're motivated and they're willing to make a higher payment because they will refi it down the road and they see the benefits of purchasing in this super difficult market for buyers right now. If you have the ability to do it, you're going to make a lot of money in this fourth quarter. If you focus on listings, I'm not saying don't take listings. Take listings. I'm not saying no to listings, but it's not.
You need to be collecting listings right now.
You need to be setting up contracts and still setting yourself up. But your focus should be buyers right now because you will get paid right now if you work with
That's
buyers.
right. Your buyers will fund
expectations.
Your buyers will fund your listings. So while your listings are sitting in this market, your buyers will fund them. Also, for every 10 listings you have in the marketplace, you'll get 2 to 3 buyer leads off of those that are qualified every single week.
If you're working them right and
Yep.
you get excited about buyers, but if you're handing those buyers off because you don't want to work, because you think that you're this strong listing agent that is too good for buyers, let me see how those agents are doing right now. I guarantee they're wishing to work with buyers. I guarantee it. They may be selling some homes. They're not selling all their homes. And believe me, I talk to top agents all the time that carry 16 listings and they're freaking out. I don't know if I have enough agents to work all my open houses because I got so many listings. You think that's that problem when you're in a hot listing market? No, you're lucky to last a weekend, right? So it's a different, you have to be able to pivot. So Ken's got some more for you. So let's shift back here. If you got it, I know you got to leave here shortly. So we got about 15 more minutes if we can.
Jumping back into that point, this is why we're doing this class. Is that you need to maximize to get some buyers right now. But if you have a listing, you have to realize when you're in business, you have a storefront. Your storefront is empty right now. So when you get a buyer or a listing, that's your product. That's that's when you're in business. The key is though, whether it's your listing or someone else's listing, is to maximize that opportunity. And this is what happened here. So we had this open house, ended up double siding it and picking up 3 to 4. I picked up 3 additional buyers. I made like $160,000 off of one open house. Because why? Because anybody that's coming to a $1.3 million house is probably going to buy a $1.3 million or more, up to $2 million even. So the type of clientels and buyers that you're picking up when operated properly, you should be, a top agent should pick up about 3 more buyers from that open house. So it is very easy to do to make this kind of.
Can you share with Josh? Josh, do you know what a switcher is? Have you heard of a switcher?
I'm getting to it right now.
Okay. I didn't know. I thought you weren't touching on that.
I'm going to try to skip through because he has to go. And the point we wanted to bring this was to sort of share this. But if you're a new agent, you should be doing this 3 days a week, extending your times. You should be extending the instead of 1 to 4. God forbid you have to work 5 or 6 hours. You know, like God forbid you got to work when people are reverse door knocking. They're coming to your door.
So how do you feel about a 1 to 3 open house? Or a 12 to 3 open house?
I think they're great. I'm saying being there is great, but here's the thing. You got to be aware of the time. Time changes. You know, now that it's winter, you're going to have to be working way more on the weekends when it's light. People get off work, it's dark. So now your showings are going to be piled up on the weekends. Everything changes with the time change.
I was trying to set up the 3 to 4. Some people miss the magic window of 3 to 4 because they're trying to get out early so they can enjoy the rest of the day. I know you two, April and Anissa, you worked pulled a couple people between that 3 to 4 hour. So I've heard somebody say, oh, tighten it up. And then you force them all to come in a shorter period of time. I've heard that. I don't agree with that. I think if you're going to do it, minimum 1 to 4. And I think if you can hit earlier 12, do 12 to 4, make it worth your time and then follow up.
Yeah, and the reason why is that people go to church, they have lunch, they do what, Saturday they're catching up. Well, you don't know what someone's schedule is. People are working their busy lives. So you need to have a minimum of 15 to 20 signs. It's like that's the other thing is that you'll hear new people that are in the industry, you'll look it up and they go, you don't even need signs now. People come on realtor.com or Zillow. They do. Absolutely, they do.
One way.
Every time I ask them, how did you find this? 90% tell me they came from the signs. 90. Yeah. You have an opportunity to brand yourself within that area too if you're going to start a farm. Make sure I like to have my face on the signs, and then people realize there's that guy again. There's that guy again. And then when you're door knocking, you're not a stranger coming to the door. They know who you are. All right. What is your value proposition? This is something new that I added right now. So you've never heard this before. There's a few pages that we've learned. What is your value proposition that you're going to offer someone when they come to you? Why are you different? What should you know and be prepared to know that gives you a reason gives the people a reason to want to work with you? You need to know the area. You need to know the comps. You need to know neighborhood, school. They're always going to ask you what the schools are here. If you're working out of the area and you don't know this, ChatGPT it. It'll give you a full report of everything. All of it. Look it up, keep it with you. Market trends. What kind of market are we in? Like Brandon's saying, a lot of people, biggest thing you'll get right now is, I want to wait. I want to wait till interest rates go down. Oh, really? Mr. Buyer with 5% down, you want to wait? Let me ask you something. Let me tell you something. A year ago, I had people that were 50% down. All cash even, yeah. And were losing out on homes. They were getting overbid 1 year ago. Now you have an opportunity not to get the scraps. You get an opportunity now as a buyer to select what you want. Yeah. You have the ability to negotiate on repairs. You have the opportunity to buy down your interest rate. You have the opportunity to pay off your debt. There is no better time for you to buy a home right now. You can get a home for anybody right now. Anybody can get into a home. Anybody. Believe me, almost anybody can get a home. You need to know about loans, the type of loans. VA, why I bring that up. Brandon totally secured a buyer who was looking for 4 years because nobody knew about VA loans. They didn't understand that if you have a disability, after a certain percentage of disability, you can get your funding fee waived, which is 1% of the purchase price.
It's more.
Or
yeah, usually starting at 2.5. Usually around 2.5.
The funding fees?
Yeah, and if it's on their next purchase, then it's over 3%. Right.
So it's quite a bit of money. It's quite a bit of money. And this guy couldn't believe when he met Brandon how much he knew because his father owned that Veteran Home Services, which we've been blessed enough to have that division. And we're going to talk about that later as well. We're about to go ham on that, given his father's permission. And the people that he met at eXpCon were the leaders of that. So we're going to collaborate with these people on expanding our own Veteran Homes division. The point is, this guy said the last 2 people he worked with that were buyers, they couldn't believe it because they've been working with a bunch of posers.
You have to know how to connect. Well, you have to know how to connect with them. And it's the questions you ask when you meet them.
Yep.
And one of my first is always, is this your first purchase? That's always one of my very first questions. Is this your first purchase? They say yes. I get excited because it's a first time home buyer. Are you aware of the down payment assistance programs? Well, this is the reason we need to get together. Yeah. I teach a first time home buyer class, right? All the different things to get them to want to give you their information, set an appointment.
So first time buyer programs. City is Camarillo. Every city will give away. Brandon just closed when they gave the lady $170,000 in help to purchase a home.
Yep.
We did, Juana and I just put a buyer in. Here's where you have to start thinking, be creative, help people out. We had a buyer that came in and goes, I want to buy a condo in the valley. He called me on a condo in the valley. 330,000 was his max. And he was just looking at the price because the lender had told him that. No clue about insurance and the fact that the condo was not even warrantable. The HOA was $700. So I called his lender and I said, what can this guy buy in a house? He goes, $500,000. Same payment. Bless you. With the tax write-off. HOAs are non-tax deductible. $500,000. Juan and I sold this guy a badass house in Palmdale, 40-minute drive, but versus a crap condo. He got a 4-bedroom house like a Big Sky home. He can't believe it. They were in there and they can't believe it. They keep saying, can they take this away from us? And then the lady says, she says, Tawana, can you tell them to take the oven out and everything? We don't have any money. And we're all, no, that comes with it. She's all, really? I swear to you. You know how much money they came out of pocket with to buy this home? $4,000. $4,000. We just gave these people the American dream. And guess what they did the next time they showed up for the inspection? They brought their brother. And guess what? Who else will bring in? Their whole family. When you help people, when you come from a servant's heart and you help people like that, instead of looking at your commission, that's when you will prosper in this business. All right. Transfer your tax bases. That's a go-to when it comes to someone that's older. Proposition 19. You know, did you know you can transfer? People don't even know that. You can save them a fortune. Now we're going to get into switchers. This is what's a switcher? This is probably the most important thing you can learn and do that'll change your business. And people don't do it. As much as I tell them to do it, they don't do it. But if someone comes to your open house and you have a 2-story home with a pool, guess what they're probably going to want when they come in there? A 1-story or no pool or whatever. Like you, obviously, right? So what did you do to prepare yourself for that hurdle? You should have went and looked, had these ready and previewed them. You have to preview them, not go on the internet and see them. Because when you go see them, you're going to get an attachment that is a whole different feeling. I call it the glue. And remember, April, when we went on Caravan, I was testing her on this subject. We went on Caravan. We looked at all these homes. And maybe a week later, I said, hey, tell me about that Spanish house. Oh my God, it had this, it had plaster with this and this. In detail, she told me because she physically went into that place and experienced the feeling of walking through that home. Now, when someone comes in and says, I like this home, but I wish it had this, and she goes, oh my God, I got this plaster, whatever. Guess what they're going to do? Let me go see that. I want that. I want a taste of that. And that's what you can't circumvent.
No.
You cannot shortcut that. You need to know that.
Can I add to that real quick for him? So there's 2 key things with the switcher. So what he said, seeing inside it's important. So do Caravan. I create a folder on my phone that's switchers, right? But who knows what my favorite word is of what types of properties do I look for?
Okay.
Shiny pennies. What's a shiny penny?
For the least amount of money in the best area, or
That's a good value. So shiny penny is the property that everybody wants in a specific price point, right? So if I'm listing a home, if I'm at an open house for a property at 900,000, I want to know the shiny pennies. These are the best homes on the market between 809 or 900 and $1 million. So anything between that 800 and $1 million, those are the shiny pennies. The shiny pennies are the best value. They're usually fixed the best, look the best, have all the best features. Why do I care about the shiny pennies? What does it do? Does everybody want them? What do you think?
You have something, you're potentially trying to upsell them in a sense,
Uh-huh.
because you don't like the house that I have here, but I have another one for you just in mind.
That's the switcher and that's the shiny penny combined. Shiny penny will cut through the fat, right? And what I mean by that is people want to see 20 different properties. The shiny penny is the best value home. What people buy is the best value home of what they can afford at the time they're ready and what's on the market. So the faster I take them to that best home, I only have to show them one property. You wouldn't believe how many times I've only shown one property and I write an offer. If they're motivated and they know the market and you take them to the shiny penny, then they're going to write on that property. If they don't write on it, there's a bigger issue. So I cut through the fat quicker. Okay. What were you going to
I
say?
was thinking like best in class.
Yeah.
What you're saying, like,
Yeah.
oh, but best in class towing or whatever.
Yeah.
Trucks tow.
Right.
But one tows the best.
Yep.
And so you're looking for the best product for the best price in that price range. Know that. And then you show your buyer clients the best first.
And
then you're setting a tone, an expectation of value at this price point between here and here. Here's the best value for this bang for your buck, and you're educating them that. So even if they're not ready now, they know what to expect later. But since the market is declining slightly, I would say that they could even expect that for less money.
absolutely.
That's the
And
key
go to a
point, too.
higher price point and don't be stuck at I want to stay under
Yeah.
$1 million, because they have to know where the values are at. And this is what Ken taught me, which is what I'm doing right now. So if you have buyers looking, I gotta get a quick plug-in, looking in Camarillo with a batting cage and a 9,200 square foot lot in a finished property, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,500 square feet, completely redone inside, just need to finish the master. But it's got RV parking. It's ready to go. And in Camarillo, if you have a lot, anybody who knows in Camarillo over 9,000, that's all usable. That's a premium. Those are always the properties that people want. They want RV parking. They want that. You can build the ADU. We should be doing that, but we're not. So somebody else is going to take advantage of what we've done. So that's coming up on Friday. Friday, it's going to hit the market. So just start thinking, talking, door knocking, do that stuff. But what you said about that shiny penny is huge. Being prepared with that. So I do videos every time I do caravan of any property I think might be the shiny penny, and keep a folder of that. Take all of your buyers to the same property. So I'm purchasing one of the shiny pennies, in my opinion. It's not the prettiest penny. It's not the shiniest penny, but it's a great value, right? And if I didn't buy it, I would have sold it to somebody else. I know April's getting eager to do the same as well. So when you know about the best value properties, you call every buyer you have, work the property, not the client. That's very important to understand. You are the market expert. Work the property, not the client. The client meaning the buyer. Don't grind on the buyer. Keep selling the best product that's out there, period, and take everybody to that property and watch how your business changes.
That was
three
my
offers.
go-to all the time, what he just said. But what did I do different, and what was changed? After COVID, everybody stopped going to Caravan.
Yep.
There used to be a collective party of people, about 300 agents, that we would all go and look at homes and support each other.
Right.
You show me mine, I show you, what is it? Show me yours and I'll show you mine, right? That's it. Yeah, they were gonna talk about, hey, you pervert, you took it there.
Yeah, that's what we did in Miami. It was fun. Hey, I actually have to jump off real quick.
Whatever.
So I have to jump off real quick, not to interrupt. I got to jump off onto another coaching call. I love you guys.
See you soon.
Keep cracking. We'll see you guys.
See ya, brother.
See you guys soon.
Yep. See ya. Thanks for doing this, Josh.
Hell yeah, brother. Talk
All
to
right.
you soon. Bye.
Yeah, Alma.
Bye.
Right now, see you, buddy.
Yep.
The key right now is to look at homes that are sitting there, because guess what? They want to sell. So if you call these agents and have a discussion with them about the house, why is it sitting there? What's wrong with it? Just have a call. Look, they're dying. They got to go. They have a job whatever it is. Anything they tell you is information that you're going to use. Those mean I'm coming in 50 grand less. I'm coming in whatever, based on what they're telling me. So don't just limit yourself to just with the price point that they can afford. You got to remember, it's not the price, it's the payment that you're trying to sell. Don't sell the price, sell the payment that they can afford. Justify the payment that they can afford. Like, for example, if they're sitting there going, well, I'm gonna go in, I want to remodel it and do this. Well, what if they paid 100 or 200,000 more and it's already done? Or what if the house is, in the area they want, but they can't afford that area, but you bought them a fixer, and then over time they can redo it. You got to figure out, play to the person, play to what their needs are. How about here's the other thing, and you guys know this, but you forget. It's like, I have this payment, 3,700,000 or 37,000 or 3,700 a month. Okay. And they're offering the house is $1 million. Well, the payment, if I get this interest rate at $1 million is 4,000, bucks a month or whatever. So you could take that money, buy that interest rate down, and the payment's going to be in line. But instead, people will go, I want to offer 50,000 less. Well, that doesn't change the payment that much. It's like people just want the lowest price, but that's not what you focus on. You focus on the payment. Say, okay, if I could get you this home at this payment, would you buy it?
Payment and cash in pocket.
Yeah. So focus on the payment, not the price. You can figure out how to get to that price. Figure that out later.
You guys get why I said cash in pocket. This is a very important tip right now. That's why I'm saying cash in pocket. For a lot of buyers, it will appraise at the higher value, but the more cash they can keep in closing costs, the average that I've written on a few of them is 3% closing cost back. At a 900,000 purchase price, that's $27,000. You get the seller to pay 27 back when you write your offer. That keeps more cash for them so they can upgrade and do the things they want to do. Pre-negotiate up front so you're getting a credit instead of trying to ask for 27,000 in escrow. You got a much better chance at giving them their number and getting that 3% off. Guess what happens if I'm listing a home and I got to reduce the price? What am I recommending that they reduce the price if it's been sitting at a certain price?
3%.
3%. So why not just give that credit to the buyer? Do you see what I'm saying? It makes a lot of sense for a lot of different reasons. I've been countered down to 2% twice, once at 2.5% down. It's a huge credit for the buyer. It's a big thing to do right now.
So you have to be creative with when you're, and here's the thing is, if you have any questions, like, ask us. Nate over there he's sitting there quiet. He's an expert. The guy's an expert agent. He was the top agent in his company at one time, kicking ass. He knows all the contractors. He knows how to work it. He knows how to solve your problems along with us. He's a leader, just like us. And I want that feeling that we felt at eXpCon to resonate here. Share your knowledge, help each other, and you will all prosper. All right. Also, the other switching things you could have are look for FSBOs, look for expired listings. If you can knock on a door and say, hey, I'm doing an open house down the street. I noticed you had your house on the market. If I was to bring you a buyer right now, would you still sell?
That's great.
Yes, of course I would.
Yeah.
Of course they would. 9/11 hit. I've said this story also a million times probably. When 9/11 hit, it was like a nuclear bomb went off. Nothing sold. Everything came to a stop. People were freaking the hell out. We forget about it. It was bad. It was complete stop. Nothing's happening. Well, after I had a website at that time that was totally kicking butt, and I started seeing the uptick. We didn't have social media. So I started seeing the fact that all these buyers were coming back in. Well, I didn't have any homes for sale because nobody was selling. They were all freaked out. So I went through all the expires. I had all my buyers, and I went and I put buyer and I put seller. And I made a line like this. And I knocked on every expired and I was just crisscrossing, matching. And I knocked on the door and I said, hey, if I could bring you because the market didn't tank. It was just fear-based, like the pandemic. So I knocked on their door and I said, if I could bring you a buyer at the price that you had it listed, would you sell it? Yes. I sold 10 houses.
And you had
Right off the bat.
You had an abundance of what?
Buyers.
Right, buyers.
But
Well, what?
I found,
Those buyers.
it's not that I'm contradicting you.
No,
It's just that you gotta go where it's at. Conversely, the mistake that listing agents do, they get comfortable, like Alma was saying, because it is easier. You got a lot more time. And guess what they don't do? They don't work their buyers. I've seen top agents lose a fortune because they're all, I don't want to do open houses. I don't want to do that. You could literally assemble another team and say, just give me half. But no, they want to covet everything. And they end up with nothing. I'm telling you, when I was managing, I would see these top teams. And they literally said, I just give my buyers away. I don't even want them. I swear to you, they don't want them. Because that's not their thing. They don't want to show property. They don't want to do anything like that. Everybody's got their thing. All right. Balance beam approach is when this is when you meet the people.
Can we move this?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it right now.
Put it back just a little bit.
Okay. Do people buy on logic or do they buy on emotion? Right? So I've done this a million times too, and I'm not gonna get it. If we can get, can you see this? All right. Same freaking thing. I've done this a million times, so I don't know if I need to go over all this, but there's logical reasons to yes. And I mean, no. Logic, yes. Emotional, no. And emotional, yes. And then you have the fulcrum. This is a balance beam of teetering. You got to get this thing working here. So the fulcrum is the buyer. One day this will make sense to you. I know I've done this a bunch of times, but one day it'll resonate. It'll really resonate. How do people perceive real estate agents right now? For the most part. Do they like them? What do they say?
Used car salesman.
Used car salesman.
Snake in the grass.
Snake in the grass? You just went through this, right?
Yeah.
What else do we?
I'm working on Mondays and Wednesdays at my kid's school. The teacher said, oh gosh, when I found out you were a realtor, I was like, no, a shady shark. And like that, now she calls me shady shark. But like, she thinks it's funny and she's my friend, but you know, it's just, I was like, wow, I didn't realize it was that.
Well, why did she say that? Because
a lot of people that she's dealt with in real estate and
at the school, when they hear she's trying to buy a house,
yeah,
she
they
gets
figure
swarmed on, and they try to act like they know about VA. She asks one question and realizes real quick they don't know anything about VA, but they say they support military. They say all the things. Oh yeah, I'm pro-military, I'm pro-VA, and then a question gets asked and they're dumbfounded, and she knows it. She can tell quick. So that's who we met with. She set up the appointment. We spent a few hours with them,
like
and
almost 4.
Yeah.
I feel like it was long.
Yeah.
So to that point, the fulcrum is the person that comes to your open house. If they have a preconceived notion of how they feel towards you, this is not going to be in the center. So before you can try to sell them or talk to them about anything, you have to build rapport and credibility to center them, to give you a chance. So it's called a buyer threshold, their threshold. If their threshold, some people just grew up at a different time where they just never bought anything, like me. I'm a saver. I don't just go blow money on things. I'm a harder sell. And there's certain people that go, oh, I'll take that, no, oh yeah, I want that, I'll take it. This is totally different if that's the case. So the first thing is trying to figure out who they are, building some kind of report and balancing this in the center before you can work the balance beam. Now, logically, they're like, I can't afford it. I can't, this isn't the right house. You got to get into logically, yes. Why is this home, why does it make sense? Emotionally, they're going, they have no emotion. They came in, you haven't done anything yet. But when you're showing someone something, you got to get into emotionally, yes. And how do we do that? How do we start doing that? You have to start painting a picture of what it would be like living in that home. Imagine this yard, you and Summer. Imagine after you fix this up, what this is going to look like. Imagine your family coming here and having this, you could call this your home. Whatever it is, you could just start picturing and painting this picture. Now they're starting to get emotionally bought. They're buying it emotionally. Now they're going, well, but I still can't afford it. Well, what if I could make it happen for you? What if I could tell you that right now you're paying rent? What do you pay for rent? $4,000 a month, $4,500. Okay, let's do the math. 12, how many years have you been renting? 3 years. At $4,500, what is that? Did you know you didn't have a tax benefit for the last 3 years? What is that? Did you know that whole time your property has increased an average of 3% per year? Did you know that every rich person is buying a tangible asset right now? Why is gold doubled? You want to have your money floating in a bank that's just a piece of paper? It's worthless. You need to own something to hedge against this inflation. These are the things you need to sell. So now, logically, that all makes sense. That all makes sense. So once you get this done, the key is, oh, it changed on me. Where's the clicker? Sorry, oh, it's in my hand.
Gotta be first about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to end the class after this because it's going too long. But the key is you have to stay in report throughout the whole time. So they have to be in certainty that you are the person that they trust. And the way they're going to do that is you need to be likable, you need to be enthusiastic, and you also have to be perceived as the expert. If you are perceived as the expert, they will allow you to lead them. But they have to feel that way the whole process. We're going to end the class. There's a lot more to it. You know it, but I don't want to get into it. This was meant for Josh that was coming here. He's never experienced it. But I do want to, one other thing I do want to touch. Actually, that's not true. I want to touch on this. This is important. So when you're taking the lead, you got to make sure that they all sign in. Use a sign-in sheet. I like to put them into the CRM later. Okay, don't just have, the reason why it's better to get a physical address and then put them in later. But while they're there, or when they leave, you need to take detailed notes about what the conversation was about, what their needs were. You're going to forget. You're going to get bombarded and you're going to forget. So make sure you take detailed notes, add that in, their wants, needs, situation, label the sheet, where you did the open house, who you did it with, so there's no issues later. Okay. Lead follow-up. This is what I'm going to end with. This is something that we're missing. And I think it's probably the biggest issue right now. And it's funny because a lot of you will say, I'll go, how's the open house? It was great. I got 3 or 4 buyers. Great. And then months go by, you haven't sold anything. And then I'll say, hey, what are you doing? I'm going to go door knocking. I'm going to go do this. And I'm like, for what? To get more buyers that you can't sell something to? that's the reality, is that you're having issues in closing. You're not closing. The reality is, if you're at the open house that day, they come to your house. If you had switchers, you should be showing them the house that day, not next week, not whatever. You putting it off is you fearing that you have to show something. It's your fears that you can't show something. They want to buy something. If you go to a car dealer and you say, hey, how's it going? And they go, great. I want to look at cars. Let me take your name and number. I'll call you next Wednesday. Maybe I'll show you one. That's stupid.
Did I want to drive back after that long
No.
trip out there?
He didn't.
He's like, are you sure you want that car? I was like, bro, I'm not driving back. Yeah, I'll take this car.
If someone has taken the time to bring their family, everyone there, if you show them what they want, they're going to buy it that day. They're going to buy it that day. So take them to that house that's beautiful, that love it, that fulfills their dreams that they can't find. So take them there that day. And if not, you're setting up the appointment to take them there in the future that day. You're making the appointment that day. So you take that, you write it down. You're gonna send them a text. Thank you. I'll look forward to meeting you. I'll call you to confirm our appointment. Let me, or I like to call them up. Say, is it okay if I call you later in the week to get more detail on what you're looking for? That's a good secondary one.
Again, can I ask Sean a question real quick?
Yeah.
That's okay. Sean, so with the last listing that you worked hard on that open house, I know you worked with a few agents here, just in terms of your follow-up, because you did a good job with it. You did a good job of remembering who you connected with and who you reached out to. Share a little bit of the follow-up and the experience that you did, because you were doing it right away. Like as soon as it happened, like that day and the next day, you were calling, you were texting. Share some of those conversations. Did any of them lead into you getting another deal to start with?
No, not yet.
But you came close with writing with somebody who ended up writing with another agent. So he had one get qualified with Jeff. That could have been where he double ended it. And that was, somebody that was met there, got to that point, said they were going to write, then stop communicating and wrote with another agent. Wrote a great offer too, but he came very close on that one. What other ones did you have?
We set up a buyer consult with one of them. He ended up bailing.
Yeah.
I reached out, but
you're still gonna follow up with that. But he set another buyer appointment that bailed.
Yeah.
He had another one that was a potential listing.
potential listing in Mirabella, that I'm still working on. I talked to him probably 6 times already.
Good,
So
good. So he's at least engaging with that potential listing that's going back and forth. So the reason why I'm saying all this is you're gonna have that happen. But it's also the property is only like your follow-up, the critical time for the follow-up, and Leslie, you know this, it's immediately after, because the further the period goes, they forget, they run into other people, they forget your conversation. But more importantly, while the property is active is when you have to be so hyper-focused. And remember, you had 20 things you wanted to do. And I'm like, Sean, do this. Do this right now. Try to put this together right now, because once it's pending, it's gone. Now you have no leverage. So that piece of it is very important. If you're working your own listings, working your own open houses, before it goes to pending and you have a hot property, all those potentials, if it's a potential listing appointment, you have to do it immediately while it's still active. Otherwise, you have no chance of getting even your foot in the door. And same with those buyers. They're not going to get pre-approved with Jeff or whoever you're working with if you don't do it while it's still active, to give them a chance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That piece of understanding is so important. You can't be like, I'm wiped out from the open house. I just can't wait to go home and just relax and have a beer or wine and waste the opportunity, because you literally got less than 48 hours to convert and set those appointments. Okay. I just wanted to make sure we hit that.
Banana sitting there on your kitchen countertop is just turn brown and rotten the longer it goes on. But we talked about in this business, you have your storefront, the house, the open house opportunity is your storefront, your product. Once it goes pending, you don't have any more product. You have nothing that someone wants to get it. They would want to list their home, like sell their home to buy yours. You don't have anything that to entice them. You don't have a reason to go door knocking, really. I mean, you can, but it's not the same. So you have that product, you need it, and you get those buyers. That feeling, why do you think they have auctions? When they're in an auction mentality or a multiple bidding offer situation, people are excited in the moment. They're caught up in the moment.